What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Shoenn with Jude. Don't adjust your screen. LandoNorris is not a special guest. I know, don't be shocked now. I'm not Lando. Today is Halloween, and yes, I am wearing sort of a costume, but it's going to go in line with what we're talking about today. So today, Shoenn with Jude's in the garage. So that means we'll be talking about some horsepower. So we got a lot of stuff to get to. I know, like everybody nowadays, just has this horrible attention span. I'm going to try to cram as much in without breaking it up into parts. So first thing first, let's talk about what's missing in this garage. So we see the Green Monster is in the garage, currently resting. We also see that John Deere is making an appearance in the garage. However, the 83 911 Super Carrera, which I'll put some pictures up there, is not here. Still at the mechanic. To refresh your recollection, I had been sort of tinkering and doing some work on this car, and I just sort of ran into a roadblock and not really 100% committed to following through with the top end rebuild. So ran into some broken head studs. That's really gonna, some cars, if it's one or two, my understanding is it's not a big deal. I think I got about 3, 4, and they're probably just confined to this one cylinder. So I haven't been over to the mechanic. Originally we discussed, or what we did discuss, is pull the motor, ship the car back over here so that it's not sitting in the weather. It's probably going to take him the winter, I would think, from start to finish, and which is fine by me. The car's not going to get driven. Didn't really get to enjoy it this summer because I knew something was up. Didn't really want to make things worse. But I really love the car. I love driving the car around. I was fortunate enough, with the many cars that I was fortunate enough to have, I had a 97 993. The 83 and the 97 are very close in sort of the drive, the feel, the shifting. I would say the 71 is like going back in time, antique-wise. I had a 62 356B T6, and I would say, like, obviously motor differences and horsepower differences, but the 71 is closer to the 62 than it is to the 83. That's just my opinion. You Porsche people out there that are probably more serious than me, you could probably comment and tell me I'm wrong. That's fine. So why am I wearing this getup? Why did you just watch a video of my big team support reveal? So a couple years back, maybe not unlike many of you, stumbled upon the Netflix Drive to Survive. In fact, somehow, I think my wife was away for the weekend, went down that, what do you call it, binge watch. But the funny thing is like, hashtag Netflix, tune in. I don't know, they had like the most recent season at the top, and I started watching it, not recognizing there were like 6 seasons before that. So I almost did things in reverse. Basically, I watched the whatever season it was, and then realized, like, wait a minute, there's like 6 other or 5 other seasons. So I went back, and although I knew everything, if you haven't seen the Netflix Drive to Survive, even if you're not into cars, it is really cool. It just gives you the background. These guys, these young kids, really, how they get into karting, how they work their way up. I mean, guys like Lewis Hamilton, I mean, they've been doing this stuff their whole lives. It's a passion. It's a very similar passion to riding horses, and sort of the bug that bites you and the road that you go down with horses. I mean, it's kind of all very similar characters. So Drive to Survive on Netflix, awesome. Went down that sort of path. And my good friend, brother from another mother, Tony, who will be featuring today on the Supplemental, talking about his acquisition of a Ferrari F430. I turned him on to Drive to Survive and we started talking about it. Now, rewind quite a bit. When I was a kid, I clearly remember having like AJ Foyt toys, Mario Andretti, being Italian American, grandparents and all from Italy. I was like, oh, Andretti, big fan. Roger Penske, big fan. Had all these toys. And then Formula One, growing up in the city, like, yeah, there was a car interest. My dad loved cars. I was thinking in making this video today, I remember maybe being 5 or 6. My dad had a good friend named Chippy, who was a mechanic in Brooklyn. I think he used to drag race. I remember going to the garage there in Brooklyn, seeing those big slick tires and stuff like that. So those are all cool memories that I have. Get into Drive to Survive, talking to my brother from another mother, Tony, and here in the States, my wife's got a connection to Montreal. I say, maybe I'll do a one-off and go to the Grand Prix in Montreal. And as it happened was I did go. Here's what I'm going to say, and Tony Glenn will probably do a whole review of our experience up there. Number one is super event, really well put on. They had F1 Academy, which is the ladies driving. They had Porsche Carrera Cup, which, I mean, as you guys know, big Porsche guy. Loved it. I mean, if I could wave a magic wand, I would be trying to race. I keep saying to people, like, that's my dream thing to do. Get a car, wrench on a car, and track it, and maybe down the line shouldn't be too far off because I don't know how much younger I'm going to get. Need to do that. So Carrera Cup, and then, the Formula One. So that's... Couple things, and then I don't want to spend too much time talking about it. And again, I don't want to take some thunder away from Tony Glenn. We stayed in the terrace. When I say stayed, we were seated in the terrace. First come, first serve. They had wait staff insofar as people getting your drinks, getting your coffee, getting your whatever. Really great. Private bathroom facilities for those people that had that sectioned off seat. Problem with those seats is first come, first serve. You needed to be online at the crack of dawn waiting with everybody else in order to ensure that, and I'll have some videos and photos up there, that really you were sitting close to the track. And we were at Center Corner. Center Corner was awesome because they're coming off of sort of the straight, finish line. Big turn, they got to slow down and then take off. So different parts of this terrace, probably you would have seen a lot more. Again, you had to get there super early. Here's what I'll say to somebody interested in going. If you could afford it, go the whole 9 yards. I mean, I hear they have paddock passes. I hear they got different things. We took the metro, and then from the metro, you're walking onto the island. There was an island that just dedicated to the track, and it's a long walk. I mean, if you're not physically fit, you're not up to like being with the crowds, standing on lines. Food lines were long. Yes, they got through stuff, but you just got to be prepared. It is a massive event. I want to say 250,000 people were there. But it was an experience. I definitely enjoyed it. I definitely loved being there. If you're not into the smell of fuel, if you have sensitive ears, if you can't deal with the heat, or if the weather's bad, we weren't undercover. I mean, it was a gorgeous weekend, but we were basically exposed. And fortunately, because of my craft, I'm just used to being out in the heat. Brother Tony, he was even like struggling at a certain point. People are getting liquored up, but again, Canadians differently than Americans. People were super well behaved. You had those long lines of like cattle basically floating around. So if you get an opportunity, you're on this side of the world or you're in another part of the world, it's an event. It's something to experience. It would be like going to the World Series or the Super Bowl or NBA Finals, or like football, like how the rest of the world understands football, not American style football, soccer. Uh, Definitely cool event. Glad I went. Really enjoyed it. It was something to see, and some videos up there that I'll be sharing with you about that. Here's a couple of things I want to say. Number one, because we're at this point in the championship and Lando's actually leading by a point, obviously I'm supporting him to win. I really want to see him pull it out. I met a guy up in Canada at the Grand Prix. He was basically saying to me, Lando's not cutthroat enough to win. I disagree. I disagree. One of the things I used to say to people, don't confuse kindness for weakness. I really think the kid is a tough kid. He's got a good car. Will I say if Max Verstappen had McLaren, it could be close. I will say Max Verstappen is really. I mean, you could see the guy could drive anything, and even with the problems that Red Bull's been having, the guy's pulling it out. He's pulling it out. He is. He's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. But of course, rooting for Lando. Wanted to make sure, like, I got that out there before the championship went down. Getting real quick, getting back to Netflix series, and one of the things that brother from another mother, Tony, and I keep talking about, Drive to Survive. I was just at an event talking to some people. Everybody's in agreement. Somehow, some way, I know IP, intellectual property, trade secret, trade craft is a big thing in Formula One. But I would love to see how these guys, no disrespect to you, Lance, you crash for open practice, free practice on a Thursday or a Friday, and that car is ready for qualifying on Saturday. Like those guys, I want to see, are they up all night? How long does it take? How involved? I mean, it has to be, it's mind boggling to me as somebody that like wrenches on a car every now and again and runs into issues with like getting some sort of a bolt off of a transmission, rebuilding this Formula One car essentially from scratch when they have those wrecks. Somehow, some way, Netflix, if I get on your radar, uh, it would be, I think, at least my small poll that I've done, my small research, I think a lot of people would be super interested to see that, even if it was a whole offshoot program that you did, like you guys did with Antonelli getting signed by Mercedes. So, my 2 cents. I will say if it does get out there and it does happen, Netflix, I appreciate Sarandos, Paracalo, give me a little credit. My wife is Elinida. So it would be cool, you people from Greek, you're kind of tight. So awesome if you could do that, and super stuff.